Demonetize.
Onto the list container. It's a doubly linked list. Everything we just did with vector works the exact same way. Except for you don't have random access. So you can't do that whole subscript thing. So you can, hey look, this should look familiar. Int array, array of 5. Hey look at that. Pop the back, push the back. You also get pop the front, push the front, and you can insert in the middle.
How come with like arrays and was it lists, you can't pop back on, you can pop back on one, but you can't, what am I trying to say?
Pop front on the other?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm assuming they don't have a pop front here.
Probably
Right.
because pointer?
Well, if you pop from the front of a vector, you have to shift everything down, right? So they are trying to make sure you don't do that by not allowing you to have that functionality. So it helped, the idea is to help the programmer not do something dumb. Right? So vectors, you can push and pop at the end, you have random access. With lists, you can push and pop from the back and the front all you want, but you don't have random access.
Wow.
Right. So they enforce the performance characteristics of the data structure through the interface provided in the STL.
Why can't they just make a function that does it, like fixes the vector automatically?
Because that would be a very intensive operation, and they're trying to make sure you don't use slow functions. So use list instead.
Okay.
That way when they go on Stack Overflow and say, why is there no pop front? Someone can say, look, oh, you're such an idiot.
Just the worst person.
You're the worst person in the entire world to ask this question. I can't believe I'm responding to your existence. Yeah, so forth and so on.
Can't believe I'm acknowledging your existence right now.
Isn't that that's always the voice whenever I read Stack Overflow. Ah, fine.
Why are you
That's
here?
really
You're such a
accurate.
nerd.
You're so dumb. All right. Hot that, yeah. Okay. Any questions about these? All right. You can create two lists. That's great. Hey, look, there's a copy. You can copy the contents of one list into the other list.
Oh, how convenient.
Yeah. You can insert. Oh, yeah, this is where things are going to get weird.
Oh.
So, I create two arrays. I make lists out of them. I can copy one to the back inserter of L2, which means it's going to copy all the contents of L1 to the back of L2. Does it copy them in order? Look at that, it does. Or you can copy them to the front,
Does it reverse?
but it does in reverse order.
Huh.
Yep, yeah, because it goes 1, 3. It's not it's adding them one at a time, just in the front each time, so it comes off as reverse order. And then what's the other one? You have standard inserter. What's that going to
It does it in order at the beginning.
do? Oh, okay, there you go. So you can choose what type of insertion method you want. And since this is C++, you can overwrite the inserter yourself and come up with your own.
So you can make it insert at the back, but in reverse order?
Or you can make it alternate between inserting in the back and the front. Or you can use a random number generator and find out what position you want to insert it and put it there. Or you can have it insert in alphabetical order or reverse alphabetical order. Yeah, whatever.
Huh.
How would alphabetical order work with numbers?
So it would be numerical. But remember in ASCII, all
ASCII.
ASCII?
All numbers
I
are
haven't heard it like that.
Hmm?
I haven't heard it like that.
Oh, what did he call it?
Like 5 on letter.
ASC? Oh, no, that's, oh, that's way too much. No, just ASCII.
Almost everything has a.
ASCII, ASC, and that's way too syllabically intensive. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Oh, man. Oh. ASCII. Hey, sort and merge. So you can call sort on a list. What do you think sorting algorithm do you think they use on a
Like sort?
on a linked list?
Oh,
Oh,
dang.
Dang it.
Shoot.
so
Can
like
merge.
Bubble.
insert or insert?
Was merge sort
Give
good?
us
Yeah. Oh, okay, give you a hint. Sure.
Oh.
Wait, why do they have it like two different ones then? Like if sort does merge sort, what does merge do?
Merge merges two lists into one. So if you
Oh,
have two
it's like
lists that are
half
already
of it.
sorted, it'll merge them into sorted order. But if they're unsorted, then it's going to merge them into some undefined order.
That was a hard question.
Yeah. So they have merge, so you can merge a list into it, and then they have sort, which of course divides it up and calls merge a bunch of times because it's merge sort.
That was a tricky question.
Yeah.
That merged.
Merge sort. Hmm.
I should really read before I start answering.
I don't know. I thought that was more fun. Ah, function objects. Okay.
You don't seem to like these very much.
Well, there's a word I really don't like in programming.
Objects?
Yeah, they're terrible.
But isn't this object oriented?
No.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant the class. I was like, what?
Hey, I taught OOP for 5 semesters.
And how did you feel about that?
How did I? You're at. Whoa. That got personal quick.
You can't apply
That was a big
feelings
reaction
to
for
it.
him.
You're calling him an insect now?
Yes.
An insect. Wow. I went from human to robot to insect. What comes next?
I like robots.
I don't think there's anything, well, to me, insects and
Computers.
robots are equivalent when it comes to emotion. Shut up.
I always wanted to ask a Hindu what exactly I'd have to do to become a squirrel.
I don't think I would want to become a squirrel.
Are you kidding me?
You have
could
to get
mess with-
distracted by
That'd
every
be
little
awesome.
thing. That
Well, I
you
could
can
ride
I
ride
could,
a
I,
around.
could,
car.
I could sit up on a tree
You're
and throw
crazy.
nuts at people.
Exactly. What?
You probably get
What-
run over by a car.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
well,
heard about that too.
you know.
I'd be more likely to get
How
shot
do
at
you
a tree
They
than
say,
run over
I
a
didn't read the
car.
sign, and I just literally was about to give it food, and it says, "Do not wave at the monkeys,"
We live in
and
the
then it threw
South.
poop at me.
People shoot squirrels.
Can't do that.
I didn't know that. I was just trying to give it food.
Oh well, decide you want to give you something in exchange.
Yeah.
It's like, here's a present.
I said, "Oh, thanks."
Don't worry. The only difference between that and a baby, at least the baby doesn't throw it at you.
They don't have that kind of intelligence.
No, not
Yes.
yet. Yet.
Yeah, yes.
Hopefully you train that out of them before they have the intelligence. Okay, so a function object, sometimes called a functor, is an
Functor.
object of a template class as a single member function, the overloaded operator. And so you can use it. Hey, look, they created greater than, which is a class templated on int, and you can pass it to sort, which will sort everything by greater. Yay. Or in other words, from greatest to least. In case you didn't see this coming, okay, apparently they didn't tell you that there's also something called lesser, and there are ways to write your own functor so you can actually sort things based on however you want them to be sorted, which is what you have to do when your type is not one of the primitives, because that's not part of the STL, so then you have to come up with a functor in order to sort something like students, which you will have to be doing for your lab.
Yay.
So what do we have? Accumulates data over the elements, computing their sum. Great. So, beginning to the end, start at 0, and you're going to plus them each time, aka add them. If you go times, then that will multiply them all together.
So like it'll add
It'll
the
be
first
0. I guess it does the first. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I think that's the end. No, that can't be the index.
I thought the 0 was mainly the index, but there's the beginning thing.
Yeah, no, that should be what your starting value is, which means
Oh, I
that,
understand.
yeah, I think they, yeah, that's interesting. Anyways, yeah, or you can write your own to do whatever crazy operation you want it to do.
What's the difference between a function object and a function pointer?
So a pointer stores the memory address of the object. I'm sorry, say that again so I make sure.
What's the difference between a function pointer and a function object?
So a function pointer stores the memory address of a function. A function object is an object that only contains one function. That is the function to be called.
Okay.
Hey, there it is. All right, great. So here's our first functor. Let's at least do one functor. And let me copy pasta all the code. Class squared sum, public. I know. All right, good. So public squared sum. Then make it a class. I don't know why I put the word public there because it's not supposed to
Sun
be.
or some?
Sun, Mr. Golden Sun. Shine your light
So
on
change
me.
vector fun 6 to vector fun 7.
Nice.
I got you.
Thank you. Because I am really not. What do they do?
It's 9 o'clock. It's still fine.
We're still good.
We're all tired. It's all right.
Yeah, those kids last night. And then we call, was it accumulator? Accumulation? Accumulate, all right. Vec dot begin, vec dot end, 0 squared sum. We'll call it amount because I'm really uninventive. All right, let's see if I typed all that correctly.
You probably need to call
Nope.
it.
What was that?
Probably need to call it.
Did I not call it? Yeah, I did. Called it
Oh,
right
you
there.
did?
Yeah. No, there was an error in my coding somewhere. All right, error ISO for C++ forbids declaration operator.
It's not STD. CL for one thing.
Oh yeah, look at that. The other thing is this operator has to return a value. Oh, almost there. Primary expression. Ooh, what did I forget to do? Oh.
There's another.
Because Blah. So remember, this is the class name, and then I want the static operator part of it to be passed in, which is this guy right here. So I'm really just storing the operator inside this class and passing it. Yeah, this is so dumb.
There's also another pair of parentheses.
Accumulate not declared in the scope. How do you spell accumulate?
ACC.
Accumulate. Is there two M's? No. Oh, I have to include something like numeric, right? Yeah. It's either numeric or functional. Let's find out which one it is. It's numeric. Hey, the amount equals 0. Yeah. That's not correct.
What?
We still did it.
It ran.
Things happened.
Things happen. Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. Because if we're squaring it, that means we're multiplying it. And we multiply things by 0, you don't get the right answer. So let's start it off at 1. There we go.
That's
Big
better.
number.
But we did it already.
Wait, so what is the val and other val here?
Alright. So those are the two. So the first val is the sum, and the other one's actually val. How about that?
No, I mean like in your accumulate thing,
Mhm.
what is like how does the object get that, I guess?
So it starts at the beginning,
Alright.
and it the first time it's called, it passes in 1 as the sum, and the first element is val, and then whatever the returns is the next sum that passes to the next number, passing in sum, and the next val continue ad infinitum, because it's accumulating this function over each value. Oh yeah. Look at that. Any other questions, comments, screams? Look, we can template it.
Just what I want.
It's what you always wanted in life. Yes.
So, this might just be a dumb question, but with the sum plus sum times val, does it run in order, or does
Currently,
it?
yes.
Okay. I didn't know if it like did the actual number operations where it's gonna go do the sum times val first, and then
No.
add sum.
Hold on. Maybe by in order I've misunderstood you. It'll start at the beginning of the vector and move on in order, but precedence is still maintained here, which means it's going to do sum times val first and then add that to sum.
Okay.
So if it helps you any, that's actually what's going on. We should get the same answer. There it is. Okay.
So for squared sum inside the accumulate, the 1 is sum and vec dot begin is where val is.
Right, so the first time it's called, let's see, first call is being passed 1, 5. Second call is going to be 6, because that's when you pass 1, 5, 1 times 5 is 5, plus 1 is 6, so the next sum is 6, and you're going to be passing in 15.
So how come it inputs in that order? It's like you have the
Because it starts at the beginning of the vector.
No, I mean like with your variables. Because vec begin is the first thing that's read through, so why is it vec begin in sum and 1 val?
I think it's because the accumulate function, like we don't really know what that does. Like, if you could show us what the accumulate thing, like, did, I think that would make it easier.
Well, he also started the sum off at 1 instead of 0, so it starts at 1 and then 5.
Yeah, so this first 1 comes from right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Why is that?
Oh, why did we choose 1?
No, I mean.
Why you need it?
No, just give him
Okay.
time, give him time, don't worry.
1 is sum, right?
No, that's your starting sum, yes.
Why is 1 sum and not val? Because it comes after vec begin, which is val. It's reversed, and that's what's confusing me. The positioning of the input of the function.
Oh, you mean, so you think that this should be val and that should be sum over here?
Yeah. Like,
Well, they had to choose some order to it, so they chose this.
Okay. So that's just a computer thing. And
That's what's the ISO, the International Standards Organization of C++, got together. They fought long and hard, debating each other. There was probably at least one fist fight that broke out, maybe a bloody nose, and then they finally decided that, okay, they're going to do it this way.
that's weird.
Is that how they decide on everything?
You'd be surprised how close I am to being accurate, yes.
How do you become a part of
You
this?
just like I get,
Oh, you are free to join. Oh, trust me.
It's like-
They will gladly take you.
I get
You
how the
don't want to
function
be a
works,
part
I
of
just-
this.
You know?
wasn't
No.
understanding
No.
why the variables were input into the function the way they were.
Because they're dumb.
They had to choose a way to do it, right?
Yeah.
And you wanted to keep it standard so everyone did it the same way. So they decided to have the sum first and then everything after the sum next. If I had to give my personal opinion, professional opinion, what if your operator needed to take, 3, 4, or 5 operations? Well, it'd make the most sense if the first one is your sum so far and then you operate on everything afterwards. Now, not everything is done that way. If you look up fopen or fread, sometimes the The file object is at the end of the function, not at the beginning. You just, as long as the more important thing is that you're consistent in your interface, in my opinion, because then you know what to expect and you can get used to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're free to join these. Go right ahead. They'll
Just running and drop kicks and body.
I feel like it'd be fun to argue with people about it.
I think it'd also be fun just to watch.
Yeah, that's
Place your
Do they have
bets.
it on live so we can
Place
watch
your
it?
bets.
Can we just like?
Do you like watching C-SPAN? Yeah, neither do I. It's like that. Only we're arguing about C++ standards.
Tell them they're all wrong.
Oh yeah, they do. And then people get up and they say, "I will fight you to the end. We will never allow. I will never allow this into the standard, etc., etc., etc."
Sounds like politics.
You need to be the.
What else would it be? It's a standards organization. It's a committee.
They need a C++ dictator who just makes all the decisions. And
That
they're
would be-
final.
Dictatorship.
I feel like that would be really bad at seeing.
That's
Yeah.
why Dr. West should be the dictator.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's
Make
elect
C++
one person
great
to
again.
rule over everyone. That's never caused problems.
Are you gonna make C++ great again?
Make C++ good. There is no fixing that. There is no fixing this. Just go back to C.
Just create something completely new.
I would.
C+++.
I'm considering it because it's getting to the point.
Huge.
No, it would be a functional language based off of C is what it would be. Because all functional languages are too theoretical and they're not pragmatic. And I haven't found one that's really pragmatic yet. So if y'all find one, please tell me.
So
'Cause
would you call it W then for West?
For West? No, I call it like C-Funk or something. C-Function.
C-Funk.
C-Funk. Of course, some people would change that. So maybe we should come up with a different word besides functional there.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me think. What would be another one? Anyways, maybe one day. I have to keep studying this. Someone has got to have made a functional language that is close to the hardware, but I have yet to find it. Man, we're getting all off topic today. Where are we? Oh yeah, objects. Great. Oh, associative containers. Good. Well,